Imagine, you are nearly 14 years old, but are only a few inches tall and live under the floor of a great house in the country. And imagine, your tiny father one day takes you upstairs and outdoors for the first time. And on that very first day, you meet a being that seems like a giant.
That's what happened to Arite, one of the little people called the borrowers. While her father was at work by the front door, she ran off under a cherry tree to sit among the grass and wildflowers. But then, something moved above her on the bank. Something glittered. Arite stared.
It was an eye like her own, but enormous, a glaring eye. Then the eye blinked. A great fringe of lashes came curving down and flew up again, out of sight.
Arite sat breathless with fear. Cautiously, she moved her legs. She would slide noiselessly in among the grass stems and slither away down the bank.
Don't move.
The voice, like the eye, was enormous, but somehow hushed. Arite, her heart pounding in her ears, heard the breath again, drawing swiftly in the vast lungs.
Or I shall hit you with my stick.
Suddenly, Arite became calm. Her voice, crystal thin and hair bell clear, came tinkling on the air.
Why?
In case you run toward me, quickly through the grass. In case you came and scratched at me with your nasty little hands.
Arite stared at the eye. She held herself quite still.
Did you come out of the house?
Yes.
From where in the house?
I'm not going to tell you.
Then I'll hit you with my stick.
Alright, hit me.
I'll pick you up and break you in half.
Alright.
Arite stood up and took 2 paces forward.
There was an earthquake in the grass. He spun away from her and sat up, a great mountain in a green jersey.
Stay where you are.
Arite stared up at him. Breathless, she felt, and light with fear.
I guess you're about 9.
You're wrong. I'm 10.
He looked down at her, breathing deeply.
How old are you?
14 next June.
There was silence while Arite waited, trembling a little.
Can you read?
Of course. Can't you?
No. Yes. Not so well.
I can read anything. If someone can hold a book and turn the pages.
Could you read out loud?
Of course.
Would you wait here while I run upstairs and get a book now?
Well,
I won't be but a minute.
He began to move away, but turned suddenly and came back to her. He stood a moment as though embarrassed.
Can you fly?
no. Can you?
Of course not. I'm not a fairy.
Well, nor am I, nor is anybody. I don't believe in them.
You don't believe in them?
No. Do you?
Of course not. But supposing you saw a little man, about as tall as a pencil, with a blue patch in his trousers, halfway up a window curtain, carrying a doll's teacup, Would you say it was a fairy?
No, I'd say it was my father.
Oh, are there many people like you?
No, none. We are all different.
I mean, as small as you.
What a funny question. Surely you don't think there are many people in the world your size?
There are more my size than yours.
Honestly, do you really think? I mean, whatever sort of world would it be? Those great chairs? I've seen them. Fancy if we had to make chairs that size for everyone. The stuff on their clothes, miles and miles of it, tons of it. And the sewing, and their great houses, reaching up so you can hardly see the ceilings. Their great beds, the food they eat, great smoking mountains of it. That is why my father says it's a good thing they're dying out. Just a few, my father says. It's all we need to keep us going. Otherwise, he says, all things get... What did he say? Exaggerated.
What do you mean, keep us going?
So Arati told him about borrowing, how difficult it was and how dangerous. She told him about the storerooms under the floor, about her mother Homely and her father Pod. She told him about Pod's exploits, his skill, how he would venture bravely into the house above to borrow whatever his family needed.
Borrowing. Is that what you call it?
What else could you call it?
I'd call it stealing.
But we are borrowers. Like you're a human being or whatever it's called. You're part of the house. You might as well say that the fire grate steals coal from the coal scuttle.
Then what is stealing?
Don't you know? Stealing is... Well, suppose my Uncle Henry borrowed something from the house and then my father took it from him. But borrowers don't steal.
Except from human beings.
Oh dear, you are so funny. Human beings are for borrowers, like breads for butter.
The boy was silent a while. A sigh of wind rustled the cherry tree and shivered among the blossoms.
Well, I don't believe it. I don't believe that's what we're for at all. And I don't believe we're dying out.
Oh goodness, just use your common sense. You're the only real human being I ever saw, and I only know 3 or more. But I know lots and lots of borrowers.
Then, where are they now? Tell me that.
Well, my Uncle Henry has a house in the country and 4 children.
But, where are the others?
There somewhere.
She shivered slightly in the boy's cold shadow.
Well, I've only seen 2 bowers, but I've seen hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds
Oh no.
of human beings.
Arati stood very still. She did not look at him.
I don't believe you.
Listen,
And he told her about railway stations and football matches, and racecourses and royal processions, and Albert Hall concerts. He told her about India and China and North America and the British Commonwealth. He told her about the July sales.
not hundreds, but thousands and millions and billions and trillions of great Big, enormous people. Now do you believe me?
Arati stared up at him with frightened eyes.
I don't know.
As for you, I don't believe that there are any more borrowers anywhere in the world. I believe you're the last three.
We're not. There's Aunt Lippy and Uncle Henry and all the cousins.
I bet they're dead. And what's more, no one will ever believe I've seen you. And you'll be the very last, because you're the youngest. One day, you'll be the only borrower left in the world.
He sat still, waiting, but she did not look up.
Now you're crying.
I'm going home.
Don't go! Not yet!
Yes, I'm going.
Let me just get the book. Please, I'll just be a minute.
Alright.
He was gone, and she stood there alone in the sunshine, shoulder deep in grass. What had happened seemed too big for thought. Not only had she been seen, but she had been talked to. And not only had she been talked to, but she had...
Alrighty, come over here.
She spun around, and there was Pod on the path. Round face, kind, familiar. Obediently, she started over to him.
What do you want to go in the grass for? I might not have a scene here. Hurry up, now. Your mother have tea waiting.